You read that title, right? I think it's boring. It just doesn't catch my eye in the same way that color does. Let me just be a bit clear on this. I didn't mean black and white photography is boring. I meant to say, I think my black and white photos are boring. In a bid to resolve this, I shot only black and white photography with my trusted X100V for 30 days straight. I am firmly of the belief that if you have a weakness, it is not one to shy away from, it is one to work on and turn into a strength. The challenge I set myself was pretty simple, to be honest. It was to shoot at least one photo every single day for 30 days straight. It didn't matter where I was. The only rules were that it had to be shot with the X100V and it had to be shot in black and white. You know, other than trying to get better at black and white photography and trying to get more good black and white photos under my belt, there were a few key reasons why I set myself this challenge with these certain constraints. In case you didn't know, here in the UK we've been in lockdown since December. So I knew the hit rate was going to be pretty low just because of the lack of people on the streets. Secondly, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. I didn't want to be umming and eyeing, wasting time on the day thinking about which camera to pick up. One camera with a fixed lens, problem solved. The Fuji X100V is also weather sealed, so it was perfect for the many rainy days that we had in January. Lastly, the winter days here are mostly really dark, especially when it's clouded over. Like even during the day, you'd have to shoot wide open and shoot at like ISO, 800 in the shade just to get a decent exposure. So there was no way I was going to spend money on high-speed film to last me 30 days. Furthermore, winter colors are pretty gray and dull anyways, so there wasn't much point shooting color. In terms of the 30 days, my routine was pretty simple. Get some work done at the beginning of the day, and then usually around 3 p.m. I grab my Fuji X100V, stick my headphones in, put on a playlist, and then hit the streets. I do the same route day after day after day. If Bruce Gilden can do the same street for 30 years, I figured I could do the same route for 30 days straight. It takes about maybe 40 minutes to an hour, depending how slowly I walk. It starts from my house and then goes down Kensington High Street into Kensington Gardens, where I take a loop around the round pond, and then I go back on myself and come home. Of course, there were a couple of days where I shot in other parts of London. In the first few days, I was getting a hodgepodge of images, no real direction in the images, and I wasn't too keen on them, to be honest. But I just kept reminding myself to trust the process, let's just keep going. The only way to get better is to practice more. These first initial photos were, I guess, my warm-up shots. However, by week 2, so by 14 days, I was starting to accumulate enough images to see patterns emerge. I categorize my images into 5 categories: creepy, moody, candid portraits, details, coincidences, irony, traditional, street photography. On top of trying to keep my skills sharp, during this lockdown, the real driving force behind this project was behind this sort of mini project. It's not really a project, but like a mini project, was just to sort of cope with feeling run down, with feeling down and unmotivated. If I force myself to have some sort of structure to every single day, to give myself a purpose every single day, it sort of made this lockdown a bit more manageable. If you're taking photos and you're just really uninspired and you think your photos look like shit, it's totally understandable, it's totally fine. If there was ever a time to be completely happy with your photos being crap at the moment, it's now. Which is something I feel a lot of nasty commenters don't realize. There is a pandemic. You can't expect people to be shooting bangers every single day during a pandemic. I did shoot about, I'd say about 500 images or so. Obviously not all good. Out of those, I think I like about maybe 150, and out of those, I think I like about maybe 10 or so. Those images are the ones that I will elaborate on in a bit more detail. because color was removed from the equation, I really had to focus on creating sort of harmony and balance in the composition to sort of create a nice looking image. I think that's something I've improved on just from this exercise. Yeah, I just really like the sort of the balance I've created here. It's nicely rule of thirds kind of thing, framing and sub-framing, sort of standard compositional tools, especially this one of this bus stop area. We've got layers, we've got the sub-framing with the bus window here. This subject in the middle is looking towards the camera, whilst the other two subjects that are framing that subject in the middle are looking over to the right of the frame. To me, it's visually interesting. The only thing about it is that I really wish that there was just more light there at the time. Okay, so let's quickly spin through each category. First up, let's go for the traditional street photography. My favorite one is this one of this lone silhouette. His sort of shadowy silhouette figure with his umbrella is just a really nice payoff where all these lines converge towards him. And then you've also got these nice footprints. I would have preferred him filling up the frame a bit more. I did want to sort of run up behind him and get closer, but I would have been shouted at by the boss for lagging behind too much, so I had to take the photo and sort of move on. Next category, creepy, moody. I like myself to be a bit more abstract and not necessarily trying to get everything tack sharp. You'll see messy compositions, blurry images, but having them in black and white for me somehow make them work anyway. I kind of took inspiration from Saul Leiter, and I shot a lot through windows, using textures and reflections in windows. My favorite one is this simple rainy car window. I waited for a car to come in the opposite direction because I wanted those headlights to sort of beam in through the window. But what would have made this photo just perfect is if there had been people inside the car and sort of created like a silhouette with the car headlights. Oh, that would have been just perfect. Next up, I'm calling this set details because, I don't know, just visually interesting things that weren't people. So it would be hands, interesting light, interesting shadow, anything really, but just sort of really close up. My favorite one is this one, and it is an old gentleman's hands. He had them behind his back as he's walking. I was following him for a good, maybe 50 meters, trying to get a good shot. It's like these little details that you'd otherwise miss. Last two are sort of funny, ironic coincidences and candid portraits, the former being my favorite set. The penultimate set is the Candid Portraits. This set is kind of more my bread and butter. If you follow me on Instagram, this is the sort of stuff that you're probably used to seeing from me. My favorite one is this one. The expression on his face, looking down. He kind of looks like a character out of a movie. Could be like a Peaky Blinder with his flat cap. His cigarette is just resting on the edge of his lips. He just looks really cool, really suave. If it had only been brighter, then it would have been like, would have been way better. And lastly, my favorite set. This is the set I am very proud of. This set for me is what street photography is like, the funnest part of it, the thrill of it. Capturing moments that that just wouldn't happen ever again, kind of thing. These are all sort of moments that made me think, would you look at that? Some of these moments are less humorous, but you'll see what I mean. So, for example, you have this pair of mums who met up in the park, and they're both wearing matching animal print coats. You got this other guy who's tucked his socks into his jeans. Just really silly, funny moments like that. How about this guy who's got hand sanitizer in his trouser pocket, for quick access. You got people mirroring each other without even realizing it. Or you got this lady here who left her phone light on, and she didn't understand why I was looking at her for the longest time. And it's just like that sort of dramatic irony where the characters in the play don't realize that something funny and humorous is happening. And before I mention my favorite photo from this set, I want to mention these two photos. It's not humorous, but rather an interesting parallel. The stories that they convey couldn't be more different from each other. You know, one woman is giving selflessly and another woman is taking. Not saying that she's being selfish, she just found something of interest. She's like, oh, that looks interesting. And for me, like, these are the sort of images and sort of stories that I think, you know, that really make compelling street photography, you know, sort of interesting parallels. You know, part of the skill of street photography is trying to tell a compelling story. And for me, if I can get more images like these that sort of contrast each other, you know, really nicely, then, you know, I feel like I am becoming a better street photographer. My favorite image from this set is this one of this couple. I managed to capture both of them sticking their tongues out at the same time. It's not the prettiest photo, as in this isn't a flattering photo of the pair, not at all. I just think there's a lot of humor in this photo, because what are the chances that they both did this obscure expression at the exact same time without looking at each other? They didn't realize that they were doing it at the same time, you know? As I said before, a lot of the thrill of street photography is capturing moments that will probably never happen again. And, you know, that sort of come out of sheer dumb luck. And whilst all these photo sets sort of form themselves out of chance and sort of by luck, really, you may have noticed a lot of the photos were photos of couples. And that was not an accident. I think it's time, I'm working towards like my first zine. Like I'm kind of nervous about it. Like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm trying to build up enough quality photos, that are worthy of a zine or some sort of, self-publication. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, firstly, why? But if you don't, at the end of last year, I was posting like little mini series, and each day it was sort of based around a certain theme. And one of the days I posted like a little mini series of all the photos of couples I've taken over the year. To be honest, those were my favorite photos of the year. You guys seem to, well, the ones of you who do follow me, you guys seem to really enjoy those photos as well. So I just wanted to build on that momentum. If you want to stay up to date with that little project, with my little couples project, then hit subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as well, as Zain Reviews Photos, so you don't miss anything else I do outside of YouTube. And lastly, I want to just shout out some buddies. Shout out to Ribs on his podcast, New Classic Podcast. It's great, I love it. Really nice to see different voices in film photography. He's cranked out episode after episode already this year. Shout out to Tom as well. He's doing like a year-long project where he's documenting his hometown. Definitely worth checking out, definitely worth following him, just to see how that one develops. Anyways, guys, I've been going for forever. This was meant to be a short one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that one. Follow me on Instagram as Zain Reviews Photo. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you're watching. But that's and done. Keep learning, keep shooting. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.